Carbonite Cold Open question of the week, BitDynasty.
Hello there, Urs.
Heading into 2025 and SWGOH's 10th year, what is your big prediction for the game? What new modes or ideas do you think we'll see in the new year?
In the new year, let's say new Darth Revan. Not Darth Revan, new Revan, Reborn, whatever.
Revan Reborn. Okay. Now, is this going to be a gray character? I don't know the lore behind Revan Reborn.
Well, I don't know the entire lore, but I just know the bit that I played in the KOTOR. So that's the first one. And basically, at the end of the game, you decide, like, do you want to turn back to the dark or do you want to be on the light? So you kind of decide the ending. So that's kind of the idea, right? Because Revan was first a Jedi, he was light, and he turned to the dark, he was a Sith. And then basically his memory was erased by Jedi. So initially he doesn't remember who he is. Then throughout the game, you're slowly discovering who you really are. Yes, and then in the end you decide who you want to be. So I guess a new powerful Revan, Galactic Legend. And because of that duality, maybe they could add into something kid that works both. Like if he has all light side allies, he does something. If he has all dark side allies, he does something else, right? So it's kind of like that duality that we know from his story that would come out. So that would be really unique.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I think we're due for a new Revan, man. It feels like that's everybody's sort of outside, everybody's favorite game content. It seems like it's Knights of the Old Republic. So I think that would be pretty good. Yeah. And if we're also speaking of Knights of Old Republic, that Mitra Surik, they've never done her as well. I mean, that could be another target for them. I would love to see vehicles. I feel like there's so much green space they could do with design elements with vehicles. And I know we've talked about vehicles before. They mentioned it. Yeah, and sort of scrapped the idea. I have no idea where that's at on their board, but I think there's a ton of green space for them to be creative there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Because, like, what would vehicles be? Similar like ships, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would think it'd have to be totally different, though. I mean, I think another mode where it's just, put the units on the board. Maybe it's just a different sort of, just different game mode entirely. Like, I don't know.
You could put 3 guys in a tank or whatever who belongs there. And then, do you remember the Dash event where it was like a side-scrolling?
Yeah, that was so unique. Totally different.
They could do something like that. Like you have a vehicle and you have like side-scrolling thing and, you're shooting at stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, could be interesting. All right, well, we've got a lot to discuss. 7 new Lightspeed bundles hitting the tables. Bonus drops and double drops are here for the holiday break. And Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano has finally arrived to mixed reviews. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Happy holidays, and stick around and let's start the show.
Ignite your passion and embrace the glow of the Holotables.
This is it.
Broadcasting live just beyond the Dune Sea, we join the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, Urzatron.
Hello, what have we here?
Welcome to Love on the Holotables, an absolutely unremarkable yet ridiculous Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
It's a trap.
It's time to lock those S-foils in a chill position and head on down to the big Holotable for all the latest action.
This is Red 5, I'm going in.
Well, hooty hoo, and a big hello from me to you. My name is Urs, and I'm a little sick, so pardon the voice. But I'd like to welcome you all back to Love on the Holotables. And today we're joined by a very special guest. He is the modern-day master of the SWGOH guide. Whether it's character unlocks, off-meta counters, or galactic challenges, BitDynasty has what you need. Bit, how are you?
I guess a little bit better than you if you're feeling ill, but yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, he's agreed to, he's on the other side of the world, which is wild. He's the first, I guess I'm not the first. I have had Scribe on before. Second international guest, and second international bald guest. Oh my goodness.
There's something, I guess, happening outside of US with the baldness, I guess.
That's crazy.
People don't have hair in Europe.
People don't have hair in Europe. At least those that play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I guess you guys pulled it all out at this point. It's wild. Out of all the creators out there, when I first started this podcast, maybe Arnold and you were the most requested to get on the show.
Okay.
So I feel honored that we have the elusive BitDynasty here. That is just so special.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I said you're one of the OGs when it comes to content creation and things like that for this game. So, it's an honor as well for me
Oh, so
to be
sweet.
doing this with. Yeah.
Well, as a man who's full of nonsense, your no nonsense approach is actually quite amazing, and I really enjoy your content. I've watched your guides. We were talking offline, Ewoks, droids, galactic challenges, and we watched the punishing one counter with endurance, like on a live stream, like this week. So
Okay.
I'm close to getting it to work. I've been practicing it in arena, but yeah, it just doesn't have the juice yet. I wonder if it's my mace that he's not relicked. He's like gear 11 or something.
Yeah, because I have a smaller account a little bit, and there I have gear 12 mace, and just sometimes that little bit of extra speed you're missing is not enough to just get over the hump.
It's so close. Yeah, it's so close. I had it my first time. I practiced it probably 7 or 8 times now, and I had it and I timed out. So I'm close to getting it to work. But anyways, amazing content, and thanks for joining me. So let's get into the news here. We've got double drops and bonus drops. So holiday stuff happening on the Holotables. So light side and dark side battles, cantina battles, mod battles, fleet, all rewarding double drops from the day after Christmas, so Boxing Day to the 28th. What are you farming these days, and what are you going to be hitting with these double drops?
Obviously, I'm farming all the latest marquee units that are farmable. So what I'm doing, Sheen and Marok now. And obviously the punishing one. So that's what I'm farming at the moment. But obviously the most important thing I'm farming is signal data. That's like the biggest crunch for me right now. The biggest bottleneck is signal data.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit. Signal data, it's an endless farm for that stuff, and yeah, it's just like the most unsexy way to spend your cantina, though. I feel like, I mean, maybe with your accounts, got everything it needs. I don't know. It's just like when you get a double drops or bonus drops or whatever, you feel like you want to maximize value and really do something fun. And yeah, farming signal data is kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, before when I wasn't all caught up yet, I hated when they put a unit on a cantina node, because then I had to stop farming signal data.
Right.
But obviously now, once you're all caught up, you're just farming signal data, and then if a unit drops on cantina, you just stop for a couple of weeks. And, because it takes a couple of weeks probably if you're doing like 3 refreshes to get the unit to 7 stars, and then you're back onto signal data.
Yeah, it's really interesting for me because my account, it's a mid-game account that I've come back to after 3 years, and there's so many ships that I miss, like Galactic, or with the Galactic chases, bounty chase.
Yeah.
I missed all of those except for like one. It was Emperor Shuttle was the only one that I was around for. And all that stuff is on Cantina. So, like, when I do it, I have to deliberately just stop and go, okay, we're farming
that's
Dorito from the ground up. Like, we get to just hard commit to it for a month, a couple weeks. Yeah, so that's a little tough.
Yeah.
But double drops from 12/26 to 12/28. So that'll be great. And then bonus drops at the start of the new year from January 2nd through the 5th. So that's kind of nice. A bunch of just... I don't think they change what the bonus drops are based on the time of the year, right? Like when what's come out recently.
Yeah, sometimes I think they would do like some of the recent marquee units. I think last time around we had Jedi Cal, I think. Like we had Saw, Tarful and stuff like that. And then if you have those at 7 stars already, then something else drops. Like I think was it Kairos or something? I don't know. But each node would fleet, light side or whatever. They would have different bonus drops. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So if you have whatever the bonus drop is max, they would switch it to Cairo. That's pretty good.
I don't think. I think we had Kairos or something like for those people that already have them at 7 stars.
Okay.
I think that last time we were not getting shards.
Okay. Yeah, so good stuff. Good time to be on the Holotables. Yeah, I mean, this is always an exciting time when double drops come around. So,
oh yeah, we all love those. Although 2 times 0 is still 0, right?
Isn't that's the worst feeling in the world when you hoard energy and then you just dump the full load in and it's just like, oh, I just got hosed, and then you regret your life immediately. You're just like, why did I do this? Yeah. Would you rather see guaranteed drops or just Why? Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, a guarantee would feel better than double.
for me for sure. Yeah, because at least you know what you're getting, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you can plan around it and that. But
Mm.
it wouldn't be a true mobile game if it didn't make you have a little bit of variance, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
But what about the time when you hit that 5 and you hit the 5 with double drops and you get 10, and you're just like, wow.
You got it. Yeah, you have to screenshot it.
Yeah, it really happened, I promise. Okay, we got some small bits to get to before we get to the big lead here, which is lightspeed bundles. So just some small notes here. Implemented a fix for Scythe for not marking Imperial TIE fighters. I haven't been around for this, but apparently this is they call it the final fix. So apparently they're saying it's fixed. They've tried to fix this multiple times. What exactly is happening with this for someone who hasn't been around the game a little bit?
Oh, with the Scythe mark thing. Well, when Scythe was initially released, like 2 years ago, I think. This feels like 2 years. Basically, if you run it under Executrix, the Allied Imperial TIE fighter, when they get foresight, which obviously they do a lot, they get marked, and then you have to attack them. They dodge and fit their meter to the capital ship.
Yeah.
So, but this was also working under Chimera, not under Executrix only. But I think most of us were not even aware that this was a bug. We just used it with Chimera, mostly Scythe, not with Executrix, because Chimera was better for most counters.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, after the Punishing One was released or whatever, they're like, there's a bug, shouldn't work under Chimera. And when they fixed the bug, then it also stopped working for the Executrix. And I think one of from SWGOH events or somebody said that actually it was just a small mistake in the code, that they were looking for Executrix. Yeah, Executor. Which one is Tarkin one? Executrix. The Tarkin ship, right?
Yeah, Executrix, yep.
Executrix, yes. But whereas the game should be looking for capital Executrix. So it was just like a small string error. Yeah, and then it took like 4 weeks to fix or something. But now again, it's working under Tarkin as it should, and it doesn't work under Chimera as it should. But to be honest, most of us were not even, I think, aware that this was a bug for Chimera.
Okay.
So basically, Chimera now has little to no use suddenly anymore. In the Kyber one, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's programming for you. One small.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's a complex game.
Yeah.
It's a complex game. I guess there's lots of code and developers come and go and things like that, right? So
makes sense. All right, they fixed an error which was causing performance issues on devices and PCs. I guess a lot of older phones were like heating up extremely hot. People jokingly having to wear oven mitts to play the game. And I actually noticed this on PC. I have like a top end PC. And if I left the game open, I don't know if there was a memory leak or what, but like it would cause my PC to restart. So I actually noted this. Apparently they fixed a performance error there.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Yeah, they didn't exactly say what the issue was, but they fixed whatever causing the. It's probably a memory leak, I would guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
And then signal data in weekly shipments. We just talked about the endless farming of signal data. This feels very good. It's just funny because I was like, I'm learning a lot more about datacrons and investing more in them. So I just dumped 100,000 into like datacrons for ally points, and I spent all my ally points. And then a day later, the shop refreshes for the weekly shipments, and there's signal data. I'm like, are you kidding me? So it'll be tough to see if I can get both of these before the store refreshes. That's the first time they've done that, right? Signal data in weeklies.
I mean, they have them for crystals, yeah, but not for
ally points,
not for the other stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that feels good. That feels generous. And then we had the CG charity event this last Friday, where if you donated to the charity, you could get 3 different tiers. You could get all 3 if you donated 3 times. I actually was sick, so I totally was planning on attending this and completely missed it. Did you attend this, or do you know what I'm talking about, or any ideas?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, I just have a lot going on in my life at the moment.
That's what I want to say. The timing felt really weird, right? And I know you don't spend on the game, so this isn't probably something that you would, probably do. But the timing just felt extremely weird for me because there's so many deals and there's so much like lightspeed bundles. And for, a returning player like myself, this is like, I only have so much money I can allocate for Galaxy of Heroes, right? And I feel like this would have been better served sort of like after Thanksgiving, maybe a week after Thanksgiving. And because now we have 7 new lightspeed bundles hitting the tables. And it's just like, I'm not a kraken, I'm not a whale, I'm just like sort of a dolphin that's gonna buy the high value stuff. This timing felt extremely weird. I think it would have been better served 2 weeks ago.
Maybe, yeah. But I guess they were trying to get into the whole Christmas spirit, I guess,
Yeah,
things like that. Or maybe that's why it was closer to this time of the year.
Yeah, I just feel like anybody that works in corporate knows that everybody's around generally for the first couple weeks of December, and then it's just it's hit or miss on availability for people. So
that's true.
Yeah, it sort of feels like this was their last action before sort of dipping out on vacation. So
yeah, I think they shut down for like 4 weeks or something, don't they usually?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay. Well, we got light speed bundles, 7 of them a bit. Now, I know you mentioned offline you don't spend on the game, so no. I'm going to ask you some questions about these bundles. You tell me whether or not you think it's worth it. Okay. So the first one we have here is the Jedi Knight Revan Lightspeed Bundle for $9.49 USD. And this is Relic 3 across the board for the requirements for Jedi Knight Revan. So T3, Zal, Mission, Jolie, and Basti. So you get all 5 of those, Relic 3, and that'll immediately get you the event for Jedi Knight Revan. $9.49 for this. What do you think on this one? He's shaking his head.
Because I want to say like $10 is very good deal for 5 units and Jedi Knight Revan unlock, right? But out of those units, like I'm coming from my standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kyber 1. I can't remember when was the last time I used any of those characters for anything. And Jedi Knight Revan, you unlock him, right? But then you have to gear him up.
Yeah.
You have to relic him up. I don't know. Although Jedi Knight Revan obviously is a good unit, and it is a good value at the end of the day, right? I guess you shouldn't look at it, I'm getting these 5 units that are not that useful for $10. You should look, hey, I'm getting a Jedi Knight Revan
for $10.
For $10, and that is absolutely amazing. Like, if I would be spending any money, I wouldn't have Revan yet. Revan is absolutely like an essential Jedi. His mark and things like that. It's just we use him all the time, everywhere. Yeah. So it's insane value at the end of the day. Getting Revan for $10. Initially, when it was launched, people had to spend like $1,000 to unlock him, right? And now you're getting him for $10.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do use Jolie quite a bit because one of my only GLs is JML, and JML can counter JMK. So I do use Jolie quite a bit, but all 4 of these other guys are just sitting the bench for me, and they're not doing anything. So yeah, I think. But the real question I want to ask you is they have the opposite of that. They have the Darth Revan Lightspeed bundle, same price, $9.49. HK, Dark Basti, Juhani, Karth, and Canderous. Same thing, Relic 3 across the board. But the question I want to ask you, Bit, is who is a more valuable unit? Is it going to be Darth Revan? Like, what team would you use more? What would go farther for an account, in your opinion?
I guess it depends where you are at in the game, to be honest. Like, these days, in Cabra 1, Darth Revan is just a Malgus helper. Jedi Knight Revan is a Jedi Master Luke helper, right? Yeah. So they both don't have their own teams anymore. But I guess the real thing is, unlocking both, you get access to Malak, right? And Malak is obviously a very important unit. Like, even Malgus without Malak will struggle versus some teams without the fear that Malak provides. So I guess the Malak is the real prize from these bundles, if you ask me.
Yeah, I totally forgot that that was a requirement to get Malak. Mm-hmm. I was so quick to just say, Oh, well, I think it's obviously Jedi Knight Revan because he's in every Jedi team, and in weird niche situations, you can use him as lead if you need to do some weird stuff with like galactic challenges or feats or some stuff like that. I was immediately going to say it was Jedi Knight Revan, but yeah, I forgot about Malik. Malik is critical.
Yeah, because like even if you can just compare the Revans, again, I think Jedi Knight Revan's got a bit more use maybe. It's like Darth Revan on defense, the Imperial Troopers just run over him, right? Even with Malak in there. So you wouldn't really want to put him on defense. And then on offense, without Malgus,
Yeah.
right? Whereas Jedi Knight Revan just unlocks a whole lot of things for Jedi Master Luke, like countering Kenobi, as you mentioned, countering Leia. Although I'm having mixed success personally with that, but I have seen others, countering Leia with Luke as well a lot. So definitely ability to ignore taunt and mark somebody is very useful. Whereas Darth Revan used to be good his lead, but now units are so tanky, by the time you get somebody below 50% health, maybe half of your team is gone already. Because remember with Darth Revan, you're getting, with free stack of ferocity, you're getting reduced defense, so your guys are kind of quite frail, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah. But you need both to get Malak. So essentially for $20, you get Revan, and Malak. So it's actually 3 units for $20, right? So
yeah,
three excellent
units
overall. So I think it's excellent value if you ask me.
Yeah. Okay. The next one we have here is the Wat Tambor Lightspeed Bundle. He is Relic 3 for $18.99. This one feels a little, just the pricing seems a little weird on this. I get there's some people out there that probably are in guilds that they just never wanted to leave, and those guilds are not performing at a level to get Watt shards, or they're just, I don't know what it is. $18.99 for this. I'm trying to remember how much Cam was. I think Cam was a little bit more. Maybe Cam was like $1 more, or maybe it was the same price. I can't remember. But Watt for $18.99. What do you think of this? Do you use Watt regularly in Kyber 1?
Yeah. Because, Bane's supposed to be a Sith Eternal lifter, but Bane is doing his own thing, so Sith Eternal still needs Watt to babysit him a bit often. Yeah, the thing is, I think with this, it's not just Watt, all the territory battle units. Because usually, like, if you're almost good enough to do Geonosis, you're maybe better off doing the Rise of the Empire territory battles, and then you can't unlock Watt that way. But isn't he needed for one of the Galactic Legends to unlock, or am I just dreaming something?
No, I definitely think he's needed for something because I have him relicked
up. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's needed for something. Maybe for Kenobi, maybe?
Lord Vader, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. It's been a while, but...
It's been a while. He definitely has a purpose, though.
The good thing about Watt is, unlike Revans that we mentioned, you don't need to gear him up.
Oh, yeah. That's a great thing.
You just unlock him. Maybe bonus turn is a Zeta, maybe. I don't know. He just needs to get a bonus turn, slap attack on Sith Eternal or whoever, and then he can die. So, from that standpoint, it's smaller investment when it comes to gearing and relicking.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. You just love that.
And even his weapon tech preventing revives. We just had this now Galactic Challenge with infinite revives, right? And you put a weapon tech on somebody, and enemies are not coming back anymore to life. So, I mean, it's a bit steep, I guess, compared to the others, but just overall plug and play of Wat Tambor, and he's a Galactic Legend requirement. I think it's very good value. But I wish they would do something else for this old territory battle and all the raid units, that you could get them somehow, differently than just buying packs. Because it's unlikely your guild will go back and do, an older raid or an older territory battles, for example.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned the guilds going back, and I have an alliance, and in my alliance, like we asked the question, like, oh, do you guys want to do something different over the holidays? And even there was a group of people that didn't have Watt. They're like, yeah, let's go get Watt. And then the vote for Rise of the Empire just like crushed it. It was like, oh no. We're not going back.
That's where my smaller account is. I don't have Kiadi Mundi there, and we're just doing Rise of the Empire territory battles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just buying 5 shards at a time from
those are
the guild store.
expensive shards, yeah.
I know. And even to be honest, Kiadimundi isn't all that useful, to be honest, like anymore as he used to be. But just because of the history I had with him with the main account, just for the nostalgia, I do want to unlock him.
Yeah, no, I get it totally. Next one we have here is the Sith Triumvirate Lightspeed Bundle, $18.99 for Relic 5 across the board. The Triumvirate. I actually don't have 2 of these guys up. Lord of Hunger, Nihilus, and Lord of Pain, Scion. So I might actually buy this just to save myself some time.
I mean, Sith Triumvirate, once you slap Omicron on Traya and Savage, I mean, it's, they do a lot of stuff.
Yep. I just recently did those too.
Even if you need like a 2-shot Jabba, you just slap Traya, even though her Omicron is deactivated at that point because of Jabba. You get for everybody except Jabba in the end. So if you need like a 2-shot on Jabba or maybe even Lord Vader, because of all those debuffs, they do pretty well. And if you put them on defense with Savage, they're gonna pull a Galactic Legend to take down, really. So
yeah, I'll probably end up getting this one actually. It's only 2 units for me, but I actually think I get a couple relic levels on Traya as well. So $18 for this one. I think the main draw for me is because I have Traya. I have that team, Traya and Savage, with Talon and like Nihilus is in there and somebody else I can't remember, but.
Yeah,
my Nihilus is gear 12, and he's so close every time to going down and just costing me banners. So I think $18 for this is going to be my number.
Yeah, I think like if you care about Grand Arena, get it. If you don't care about Grand Arena, you can skip. I would say.
Yeah, there you go. The next one we have here is the Sith Eternal Lightspeed Bundle 1. So they have this broken up into 2, and I think these hit the store as of this morning. When we're recording on Sunday, I think one of these just hit the store. This is Relic 3 across... No, Relic 5 across the board. Rogard, Piet, Krennic, Tarkin, Veers, and Stark for $23.74. And this one also includes TIE Bomber as well. Thoughts on this one?
I'm having a bit of a crisis with Sith Eternal at the moment. Sometimes I'm just struggling to find an enemy to defeat. So it wouldn't be like the highest priority, to be honest. For me personally, this one, and it only gives you half of Sith Eternal, right?
Yes, this is. I would rather have it just be all in one thing and just be a little bit cheaper, but yeah. All I need.
Sith Eternal, he's cool and all, but he's just not good as he used to be, right?
Yeah. And then this is a lot of... I didn't realize how steep his requirements were. It seems like for one of the OG GLs, it seems like his requirements were actually quite steep. But maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been a while since these guys came out. All right, Sith Eternal Emperor Lightspeed Bundle 2, $23.74. Darth Vader Relic 7, Sid Relic 7, Darth Maul Relic 7, Sith Marauder Relic 7, and Count Dooku Relic 7 for $23. What do you think on this one?
I think this one is better than the first one because Sith Marauder, right, he's needed for Leviathan. And then Darth Maul and Sidious, right, we still have Naboo Raid running at the moment.
Oh,
so that could also
boost.
That could boost your score in Naboo Raid as well, if you need, right? Because like you have this Darth Maul lead with Sidious and Newt. You can throw in Step in there, or some people use B2. There are various lineups, and they do pretty well in the Naboo Raid also. So I think this second one would be better.
I totally forgot about the Naboo aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think you may have just sold me on this one, so I might be doing that.
I don't know how long we have done the Naboo Raid, maybe 2-3 months, 4 months, I don't know, but it's still something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to need to get Leviathan. I mean, you can't, ships you got to take seriously. We're going to get there. I've got some thoughts on ships because it's been a problem for me. But yeah, anything that helps you get closer to Leviathan, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last one we have here is the Cat Lightspeed Bundle, Commander Ahsoka Tano, $37.99 for a 7-star cat. Now, Cat's a great unit. No one's debating that, but that is a pretty great price tag. Is that worth it for Cat?
You see, the thing is, Cat, she's essential for Jedi Master Kenobi, but for anything else, you can get by without her. So unless you're like a really new player that you have 0 shards of her for previous conquests, or you can't do proving grounds yet, maybe. Then if you have Jedi Master Kenobi, probably your roster is quite developed at that point already that you then would be worth buying Commander Ahsoka Tano, I think. Because like Kenobi without Cat, like Gas can counter it, right? So it's almost like if you got Jedi Master Kenobi, but you're nowhere near obviously unlocking Cat, then I would say yeah. If you don't have Jedi Master Kenobi, not getting him anytime soon, then I would just pass on this one.
And the only other reasonable explanation, this is a requirement for Glad, if you're somehow, don't want to wait the proving ground.
I guess so.
Maybe if you want to power at home and just pay to win.
See, I forgot about this one. Oof.
That's
I guess
still
it depends,
expensive. I mean, it's just probably a pack for rich people that are coming in the game late, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, I think probably it's more aimed toward people that they want to unlock Ahsoka now, and they spend on all the marquees and everything. Yeah. And then if you spend marquees were what $200-$300 each, what's another $40 for Cat, right?
Right. So. And she's not a bad unit. So. I don't know. All right. So those are all the Lightspeed bundles. Good stuff there. Good value conversation. The next thing we have here is Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano entering the wild. Now, you mentioned you saw her in GAC. The initial feedback is mixed on her. I've watched Arnold's testing. Arnold sort of went through a lot of it. Seems like it's not great on defense, and a lot of the GLs can get through it. What's your read on her first week in the game?
I guess she's not overpowered, which is good. So some Galactic Legend teams beat her, some don't. I think that's okay.
But Bit, is it okay? Sorry to interrupt. Is it okay that she's the most expensive GL and she's just not steamrolling people?
I think her problem is that basically you've got only one damage dealer on the team, right? More or less. Other one's Sabine. So even when you win, I don't know, just looking at Arnold's footage, it didn't seem the most fun way to play. Like the battles take long, that you ramp up, right? So
yeah.
Then her ultimate, she hits ultimate straight away, but like her ultimate doesn't feel like an ultimate. Like, I don't know, maybe it does something in the background, but it's not like some of the ultimates from other Galactic Legends when you go like, whoa, she's about to hit ultimate or something. You know what I mean? She's like, oh yeah, she's hitting ultimate.
Oh yes, I haven't even experienced that yet. So,
but I think
I know
personally,
what you're saying.
Her ultimate seems a bit like it doesn't. I don't know what her kit is complicated. I'm not going to pretend to understand, but you've got the Galactic Legends that insta kill, that do massive damage, that siphon stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her ultimate is just like, okay, she hits it in 10-15 seconds, but what does it actually do? Like, it didn't kill anybody. It didn't do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe if her ultimate would be a bit more impactful and even maybe take longer to build up, I think that could be a whole lot of different story. But man, she is thick. She takes like a long time to take down. Like I use Leia, I didn't have problems taking her down, but that you could say maybe she's not good. Leia can counter her easily, but that means that my opponent didn't have to deal with my Leia on defense, and Leia on defense is a menace right now with the Power Crown, right? So
yeah,
it's she did her job, but be warned, data crowns are coming.
Oh right, so this could totally change. You're right.
Yeah, because if you throw in Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum level 9 data crown in there, because I think she's a Spectre Fulcrum, right?
Yep.
She takes a bonus turn anytime enemy takes a turn, and she's doing 100% more damage during this bonus turn. And then if you have like on level 6 that you get bonus turn on defeat, she can just like take people out, right? So I know, like, we test without datacrons, but the reality is datacrons are here. And we see that CG has preference for serving certain factions with datacrons, that they always have something. So, yeah. I think once Ahsoka Tano enters the wild, datacrons get in the mix, people will come up with some wild stuff. I guarantee you.
Okay. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. All right. Well, turn the page and let's talk about GAC. This is a section bit that I usually just ask people, sort of notable takeaways. They're saying you are in Kyber 1. We have a lot of people in Kyber 1 that have been on this show, so that's awesome. What about defensive holds? Anything random you're using to get any holds? How's your GAC been going?
Having mixed result. It's almost like if my opponent puts that annoying Leia with power chron on defense, I'm still trying to figure out how to one-shot that, and I lose. If they put a different type of Leia, then I win. So I'm almost kind of at the mercy of what Leia team my opponents put on defense. It's a bit funny, but that's what's been experienced this season. At this point, yeah. I mean, in terms of holds, like, it's just random stuff. I'm just getting nothing consistent. Like, sometimes a team you don't expect that's a hold, then you leave it in there for a couple more rounds and does nothing for you. So nothing like really too crazy. But yeah, I think generally overall, the Leia Power Chron with Captain Rex can decide matches, because the matches that I did win, my opponents were not able to one-shot my Leia. But they put a slightly weaker Leia on defense, and I was able to one-shot it with Jedi Master Luke. So Leia, for me personally, this season has been the deciding factor on who wins and who loses.
Oh, okay. Now, what is your favorite squad to pilot? Whatever's beating Leia, or like, do you have a favorite squad to pilot in GAC?
Not really, to be honest. Just trying to think. I guess Bane.
Everybody says
Bane is the most. Bane, because he's so fun. He just goes in and smashes more or less everything, right?
That's great. You're not the first person that said that too, so it totally makes sense. I'm at a point where I'm getting stuffed by fleets. I knew this was going to happen. When I came back to the game, we tanked my account. It was Kyber 4 when I came back, and when I left, the ranking system wasn't like this at all. There wasn't a ranking system. And I came back, and when I was in Kyber 4, we tanked it down to Bronzium. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm seeing Profundity on defense. I'm seeing Executors. And this is why we pulled up your video to try and counter Executors. And like, I'm at a point where all I have is Negotiator Fleet. And I just now, I got the lightspeed bundles for Radis and for Finalizer. And I'm close to the requirements on Executor. But I'm getting stuffed on fleets now. Which is, to be expected, because I ignored them. And now I'm feeling the pain. So... So you can imagine my farms are 100% ships. It's everything ships. I'm just filling it. I got people in my guild who are activating their TIE interceptors and their Scythe and all these top end ships, and I'm just now finishing up Jedi Consular ships. So it's rough.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, especially for the Empire fleet. Like, if you don't have Scythe and Interceptor, you won't get far with the Empire fleet, unfortunately, these days.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are in Conquest, right? Improving Grounds.
Grounds, yep.
Unless there's a Lightspeed bundle, it'll take you, I guess, a while to get there.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I'm all right with it. It's fine. It's fun to do, like, we talked about it a few times, your counter. Like, I've been practicing that in Squad Arena, and it's exciting to see it kind of working, and it feels like you're getting over, right? It feels like you're getting one by the system to use endurance and counter something. That feels great.
From all the ships, endurance, man.
Yeah, someone unearthed that thing and was like, "Yo, check this out." And I guess
because I had people reaching out, "Hey man, did you try endurance?" I thought they were joking, And then somebody shared like a video of them using endurance, and I'm like, really? And then I did and I'm like, let me test this out. And I was going through different variations, and before I made the video, I did lots of testing, but I'm like, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then,
we could have used endurance before. It's not like Executor before Punishing One was stronger, right? We could have used this before.
Right. Someone just had to try it, right? And I think that's the best part about Galaxy of Heroes is when stuff like that happens. It's just like, and no one accounted for it. Surely CG didn't test for it, and then it's just like, oh, this is a thing now. And I think there's even an endurance Leviathan counter. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I've seen that. I tried it myself. I was testing it. The reason why I didn't release video because personally I didn't have much success with it. So I don't want to release a video that I personally don't have success with because I can't back it up, right? But I did see videos floating around. But yeah, personally, couldn't get it quite done.
Okay.
Maybe. Because the video had like Relic 8 mace with Omicron on it, so their endurance would be faster. So maybe just a little bit extra speed or something. I don't know. I just couldn't get over up. And I just have literally the worst luck with landing healing immunity with Anakin's AoE on the bomber.
Yeah.
And if you don't lock in healing or buff immunity, there's no way you're getting through the bomber. So I just haven't had luck with that. So that's why I'm like, nah, man.
Yep. My man has integrity, everybody. He's not gonna record one fight, get through, and then make a video on it. Integrity.
No clickbait on my channel.
This is why people love him. You're gonna get the real stuff. All right. So good stuff there. Let's go on jumping into the community mailbag. So this question comes in from Bear Juice. He says, "Dear BitDynasty, do you think they will ever release a character with multiple Amis? One that will have an Ami for each different game mode, one for GAC while having another for TW and TB. Why or why not?"
Obviously, that's a great idea. It would be good if they do, but CG, they crunch the numbers, right? So if we give you one unit that has Omicrons for 3 game modes, you will just buy 1 marquee. How about instead we sell you 3 marquees?
That's probably
their business.
Yeah.
Their business. They're here to make a profit. I'm not judging them. I'm just, it would be amazing, but because of financial reasons alone, I sincerely doubt that they would do it.
Yeah, I agree with your take on that. I think the bigger question here is if they were to sell a Swiss Army knife character like this, that had a thing for every mode, an Omni for every mode, who would that character be? Who would be worthy of being the Swiss Army knife? I don't even know. Like, maybe that's your new
R2
Galactic.
Maybe.
Yeah, like maybe it's a new Galactic Legend R2. Like, I don't. It feels like
R2's been everywhere. Like he's been from episode 9 to episode 1 to episode 9. He's been all over the place, right? So he's seen everything. So I would say R2 feels like a perfect unit.
Yeah, George Lucas always described R2 as the actual narrator of Star Wars. So
there you go.
There you go. That could be it. As a reminder to listeners, if you'd like to submit community mail, swing on by the Hall Discord and drop a question in the channel titled Community Mailbag, and I'll be selecting my favorite question from there each week, so please do participate. All right, everybody, it's the final bit of the show here, and it's time for a little segment that we like to call Maximum Firepower, where we put our guest on the hot seat and test his mental limits. First, I'll give him 5 SWGOH or Star Wars related topics, and Bit will respond with a short answer that best describes it. We're looking for rapid fire here, Bit, so the first thing that comes to mind. Next, we will force Bit to get controversial and finish a sentence that I've started. Lastly, Bit will have 1 minute to guess a randomly selected character or unit by asking me a series of yes or no questions. And you can't have the game up, so hands in the air, sir. And they're in the air. Are you ready? Do you understand the rules here? We'll break these up.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go, everybody.
Target, maximum firepower.
Short response. Number 1, my favorite faction in SWGOH.
Jedi.
Number 2, my favorite faction in lore.
Jedi.
Number 3, Skeleton Crew.
Love it.
Number 4, the next Galactic Legend.
Thrawn.
Number 5, BitDynasty.
Bold.
Bald! All right, number one, you said favorite faction in SWGOH Jedi. What is your favorite Jedi?
My favorite Jedi.
Yeah, what do you think? This is in SWGOH, just to be clear, because we're going to
Oh, so in the game. Okay, in the game. Jedi Knight Luke.
Jedi Knight Luke.
Maston.
Yeah.
Right. His leadership, reducing speed, like in territory battles, is amazing. So yeah, definitely Jedi Knight Luke.
Yeah.
Although he did get nerfed. He did get nerfed a bit. Let's not talk about that. He's still, my favorite one.
Yeah, let's not sleep on his leader ability. That is like the one you go to, and especially for all you maybe not all those guys in Proving Grounds. I mean, there are some where you can slot him in, and he just slows everything down, baby.
You remove all the mods, 120 speed, base speed.
Yep.
And you're running circles around the enemy.
It is great. I do love Jedi Knight Luke. All right. Favorite
and the assault battles and everything. Yeah.
Favorite faction in lore? You said Jedi. Jedi are pretty awesome. Yeah. Next one, you said Skeleton Crew. Yeah, I'm loving Skeleton Crew too. I mean, this last episode was okay, but everything else it's a really fun show.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like, doesn't have to be everything exactly like whatever, but. Honestly, I do like the Old Republic era, so I do also like the fact that from lore perspective, they're touching a little bit of Old Republic in there, right? This planet being isolated, nobody knows where it is. What is the great work, right? So they've got some interesting things that hopefully they will answer, in time.
Yeah, I will say about Skeleton Crew, everything's really kind of cheeky and fun, and like it just feels like it's got a lot of heart, and I appreciate that about it.
Yeah.
All right. Next Galactic Legend, you said Thrawn. I would agree with that. I think that's the most obvious thing. And it's obviously going to be the counter to Ahsoka. But, seems like a lot.
Then the thing is, like, who would unlock requirements for Thrawn B? Because we already got all the Night Sisters and the Troopers, right? So that's the one thing that's kind of a bit scratching my head. Because are we missing any other units from, potential Ahsoka show? That would come and be required for Thrawn. That's what bugs me about Thrawn being the next Galactic Legend, because
I didn't think of it like that, but you're absolutely right. They've tapped everything from the Ahsoka show.
You would think that initially I thought, okay, Night Sisters, the dark side stuff could be for Thrawn, but it was for Balin.
Yeah.
That would pause me a little bit about Thrawn, but it just makes sense. But if you think about requirements, then you're like.
Yeah, I would agree. And then BitDynasty, you said Bald. I would have also accepted just incredibly knowledgeable. Like, your guides are incredible.
Yeah, I do lots of research and testing. You wouldn't believe.
All right. The next one we're going to do here is fill in the blank. All right?
Okay.
I'm going to read a statement. You're going to fill in. This one has 2 blanks in it. So I'm going to read the statement, and then you'll fill it in.
Tough. Okay.
If I was running things at Lucasfilm, the first change I would make for Star Wars would be blank. And then I would greenlight a show or film that focuses on blank.
Yeah, so the first thing I would do is just stop doing the Skywalker era Star Wars content, because there's so much stuff already there, except Mandalorian. We love Mandalorian. I think it's time we leave Skywalker saga behind us. We did a good job of setting up everything. I think it's time we start exploring some new eras, or old eras. So what I would like them to do is explore the Old Republic era, because there's lots of stories to tell. Like, the Revan story, like, for me is amazing, because I played the game, and making movie out of that, I think, would be really amazing for us that know the story, but for people that don't know the story is really good. There's some love story in there with Basti and everything, right? There's lots in there that you could make a really, really cool trilogy about it. So
who would you cast as Revan, though? Because Revan had no dialogue. Who would you cast? I mean, they'd have to write dialogue for him.
Well, who's doing the best Armando? You don't see his face, but you kind of still have the experience of expression and stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody with a mask, right? So was it Pedro, the guy that's doing? Yeah, just get him.
Yeah.
He has lots of experience with, trying to act without face expressions. And that's what's actually interesting about Mandalorian for me. Like, Grogu doesn't talk, right? Mando, you don't see his face expression, but still, the way it's done, you still feel. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
their
the
emotions
connection.
and their responses. Yeah, it's they've done an amazing job from that point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Would you trust Disney with that era? I mean, I know you had to answer the question, but would you trust them with Old Republic?
I don't know. I don't want to get all political, but
Okay,
I don't
fair
follow.
enough.
I don't follow too much rumors, but it's impossible not to see them. But it just seems like there's constantly like change of directors, change of writers.
Yeah.
CEO has different ideas. Just seems like it seems quite messy at the moment, to be honest. The
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're getting as many shows as we are getting. So,
Yeah.
Hearing all of that, but you know.
I understand. I have just here to ask the tough questions bit. So,
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have.
The recent history from Disney doesn't look that good, but
Yeah, I understand. Well, I mean, things are up with Skeleton Crew right now, so maybe they'll continue on. All right, last one here. We're gonna put 1 minute on the clock, and how this works is you'll have 1 minute to guess the character. I've randomly selected a character in the game. What I would recommend to you is ask questions about tags, yes or no questions about tags. That's usually the best way to approach this. So you'll have 1 minute to guess the character, and I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Light side?
No.
Okay, so that's a dark side. Female?
No.
It's a male dark side. Or okay, is it a droid?
No.
Okay, so it's a male dark side unit. Is it a Sith?
No.
Scoundrel?
Yes.
Oh, Scoundrel is such a big faction.
Narrow it down.
That's a tough one.
Think other things that are inside a Scoundrel.
Unaligned Force user?
Nope.
Mercenary?
Yes.
That doesn't give me a lot of information. I don't really know who Mercenary is.
Bounty hunters. Think bounty hunters.
Oh, bounty hunters. Okay. It's a bounty hunter.
Leader ability.
Is it a leader?
Yep.
Okay. Does it have a blaster?
Yes. Well, it has a rifle. Okay, time.
It has a rifle.
Time. So put all your clues.
No.
Put all your clues together.
Okay.
Dark side, leader ability,
Rifle.
bounty hunter, mercenary, scoundrel with a rifle. Final guess.
Rifle. Smanto is light side. Zem is a female. Who else got a rifle?
It's dark side, just to be clear. Dark side.
Yeah, I know. But who else got a rifle? I'm trying to think.
You're gonna hate it when you see
From the
this. You're gonna be so
Bounty
mad.
hunters. Who else got a rifle though? Old Boba? Boba, sign of Django, whatever.
No, it is Kersantin.
I was actually thinking about Kersantin. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. What's your take? I want a Relic Dynamite Kersantin for whatever reason. Is that a waste? No?
I have him at Relic 5, no Omicron, and
I just think he's so cool.
He doesn't do a whole lot, to be honest.
Okay.
Even for territory battles, Jabba missions, you just throw whatever with Jabba, and Jabba just solos them. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see like use of a Relic 9 Kersantin, because funny thing is Relic 9 Kersantin with Omicron sometimes will outlive Jabba. Like AoEs from Kylo will kill off Jabba before the kill of Kersantin.
That's actually kind of cool though.
It's silly sometimes, to be honest. But the counters to Jabba, now we have Dark Trooper, with the Kron, Doctor Raff, right? I mean, Relic 9 won't make a whole lot of difference, I think, on Kersantin from that perspective.
Okay.
From the investment stand, I mean, if you like the character, you want to do it, great. But from the investment perspective, I don't know.
That's not a world you live in of just liking the character. They gotta do a little.
I live in a world. I live in a world when I'm relicking 9 and relicking 8 units for territory battles. That's my world.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we are at the end here. And
Oh, no.
already. We're having fun. 56 minutes.
Yeah.
56 minutes. This
Cool.
was great, by the way. What a great conversation. And I'm happy that I got to spend it with you. And I thank you for taking time out of your weekend to spend it with me, Bit.
No, it's a pleasure, man. All pleasure.
Okay. Before we get up on out of here, any plugs you want to get in?
Oh, BitDynasty, you can find me on YouTube. I have a website, SWGOH4.life, where you can, find like archives and library for all the game modes, the links to videos, because YouTube isn't great like at trying to, create a library of videos, because it's just about pumping out new content. So on the website there, you can see the videos and guides. You can find them much easier, obviously, than on YouTube.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining me. You can catch me on Twitch 4 times a week with Performance GAC on Friday nights. It's the ultimate Grand Arena party. The Hall Alliance is always recruiting, so let me know if you need a guild. Follow me on X or come slum it in that squiff hole, better known as the Hall Discord. I'm around. You can find me. And that wraps us up for this week. Manifesting you all health, happiness, and the most potent drop rates possible. Please get to your ship safely. And I'll be seeing you out on them holotables. Good night, everyone. Merry Christmas.
If you enjoyed this episode of Love on the Holotables, be sure to show your support by liking this content and leaving a comment wherever you get your podcasts. Also, consider joining the best Star Wars community at discord.gg/urs or attending a Hall livestream at twitch.tv/urs. Thank you, and remember, the Force will be with you always.